And we are inside the cemetery, and when you come in you're going to want to turn right past the flower stall and head along this road here, which takes you to the traditional crematorium, which is where we're going to want to be heading. I don't normally do walk twos in this cemetery because it is so vast, but this video only covering, of course, Bobby Moore, I thought I'd do that in case any of you want to come and visit and pay your respects. And as I say, this cemetery is absolutely vast. It's to the traditional crematorium that we're heading. It has several crematoriums and several chapels within this cemetery, burial chapels. And it being such a lovely day, I thought I'd walk you to it. As well as there being individual graves in this cemetery, there are also ones that contain the remains of people from London parishes removed from the crypts. When the Burials Act came in and they banned further burials in London churchyards, many of the crypts had to be cleared out and they were moved here. It's very well laid out and nicely signposted with the different areas you'll want to head to. You'll come to this roundabout type thing here. You'll see a little hut there, and then you'll want to turn left. And right in front of us is the traditional crematorium. On St. Dionis Road, and you'll want to head round the side and towards the back of the traditional crematorium. We're behind the back of the crematorium building now, and before I take you to Bobby Moore, I'll walk you past a little beauty spot. Here is a traditional looking post box where you can send letters to heaven. A few cemeteries have got these now. Hiya. Hi. And to get to Bobby Moore's grave, you'll want to walk just over here to this path. I say grave, last resting place, where his cremated remains are with his parents. And you'll come to a fork in this little path. You take the right one into this memorial garden, and Bobby Moore is just there where this tree is. And here he is. Bobby Moore, OBE, 1941 to 1993. Also Robert Edward Moore, 1913 to 1978, that's his dad. And Doris Joyce Moore, 1912 to 1992, that's his mum. And you've got the view of the traditional crematorium just there from this one, so it gives you a good trajectory of where we are. Now for some historical info, images, etc. We'll start off with what was probably Bobby's greatest moment, then you'll have some pictures, then you'll join me at the area known to the locals as the Boleyn, as we look at the champion statue. And then our next video after that, you'll join me back in the cemetery here, and we'll carry on with our tour of famous graves and last resting places. So let's have a look at some images and Bobby's greatest moment now, shall we? And here we see Bobby Moore, aged 10, as captain of Barking Primary School's side, which won the Crisp Shield in 1951. And for our next little snippet, you're going to join me 15 years later for what was probably Bobby Moore's greatest moment, when England wins the World Cup of 1966. So join me for that now.
In the dying minutes of the match, the jubilant English supporters' nerves were strained to breaking point. The World Cup was within England's reach. If only they could keep the lead for a few desperate minutes against the West Germans. Now a team playing their hearts out to keep in the running. Germany would not let up. Then, seconds before the final whistle, agony for England. Weber scored. It had to be extra time. The first period of extra time proved to the full the value of Ramsey's training methods. England began with a vigour and speed astounding after the grueling 90 minutes they'd already played. Charlton and his fellow sharpshooters came back time after time in the Ramsey spirit, believing that with sustained attack the goals must come. Then Jeff Hurst, cool and collected, had the ball in the net. No, it bounced out. Goal claimed England. No goal, protested the Germans. The referee consulted the linesman, who'd been in line with the posts, and goal it was. England led again, 3-2 now, and in spite of a German attack early in the final period of extra time, Bobby Moore's men had thrown off all signs of tiredness. It was West Germany who were now noticeably the slower team. When there was only a minute to go, England still had no thought of being content with that one-goal lead. Racing to beat the whistle, Jeff Hurst saw an opening in the defence and achieved the hat-trick. Jimmy Greaves, out of the side through injury, set the example to the other reserves by congratulating the victorious players. Bobby Moore led England up to the Royal Box to receive the Jules Rimet Cup and the winners' medals. To be here as winners of the FA Cup has often been described as the summit of a footballer's ambition. How much greater was the triumph they enjoyed now. Three years ago, Alf Ramsey set out on the hard road that led to the World Cup. Only the optimists thought he could possibly succeed. Certainly not West Germany, whose team now ran a lap of honour. They were very sporting losers. But it was England that the whole world of sport was now cheering.
Well, that was great to see, wasn't it? One of the moments from Great British footballing history. And here we see Bobby Moore again, England and West Ham Football Club captain Bobby Moore holding aloft the Daily Express Sportsman of the Year trophy, London, December the 2nd, 1966. And here we see Bobby for our final time in image form in 1971 when he was on This Is Your Life. Now you're going to join me at the area known as the Boleyn for the Champions statue. So join me for that now. And here we are, we're at the Boleyn now, or the area that's known as the Boleyn, and this is the Champions statue, of course featuring Bobby Moore, whose name is just there. The Champions, England and West Ham captain Bobby Moore, hoisted on the shoulders of his teammates, holds aloft the Jules Rimet trophy. This famous image captures England's memorable 4-2 victory over West Germany in 1966 World Cup at the Wembley Stadium. England's goals were scored by West Ham United's Martin Peters and Geoff Hurst, whose hat-tricks made him a footballing legend. It was a defining moment for both England and West Ham United. Sculpture by Philip Jackson, unveiled by His Royal Highness the Duke of York on the 28th of April 2003. Here we are. That's the Boleyn pub over there, where this area gets its name from by the locals. And just there, where that new building is, was once West Ham football ground, which is sadly no longer with us. Anyway, I hope you all found this one interesting, and join me for the next video back in the City of London Cemetery, which covers our next set of graves of famous, or in some of the cases infamous, people.